Hey guys, it's me, my face, and let's say like about 75% enthusiasm. Today's air quotes happy dance is brought to us by coffee, because coffee, it is my blood now. Caffeine keeping me upright since I was 13. If you are new here, my name is Andrea, and this is a channel about cross-stitching and anything else that falls out of my face. Literally, that's what I'm down to. If you're a returning visitor, you're used to this stuff. Welcome back. As you can tell by my sunny disposition, it has been a tip-top couple of weeks. I did manage to get some stitching done. Actually, some significant stitching done. I think I have a finish, I have a start, I have a little bit of haul. Look at me, it's almost like this is a FLOSSTUBE channel. I am a little on the grumpy side. You know, life is life, and it's not all pretty pictures. And that's where I am right now. But let's jump into the cross stitch. That's going to make both of us feel better. The first thing I worked on, or the first thing I'm going to show you, I have no idea what order I work on any of these. Remember when I was going to post this kind of stuff to Instagram to kind of keep up? Yeah, that didn't last long. Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to show you is Templar Prophecy. This is from Long Dog Samplers. And first of all, the last video I said something like, oh, I just sort of filled in over here. No, like I had done like an entire bleeding dragon face over there. So, credit for that. But I believe in the last week what I did was bring everything down around here. That little area right here kind of represents about 6 hours of stitching because, okay. Have you ever been so lazy that you ended up doing something 3 times as difficult as just doing it right the first time would have taken you? Yes. Hi, my name is Andrea, and that's precisely what I did. I had stitched in that area and realized, because I sometimes get bored, what I had done is I had started stitching in from this side, and then I had moved over here and I kind of stitched down into here. And I realized that I was short by a stitch. It wasn't going to line up. And I had this brief thought of, well, you could kind of come at it from another angle and then sort of zhuzh it. When I didn't want to zhuzh it. I just wanted it to be right. It's one of the more geometric parts of the pattern. So I figured, let's unpick this. But then the really lazy part of me kicked in and said, well, even though you stitched it in rows, horizontal rows, you could snip the bottom and bring it up like 3 or 4 rows to where it would be even, and then you could work down again and just fill in the bits that, right. You already know the problem. I, for whatever reason, didn't see the problem coming. So I clipped all these bottom stitches and I picked them all back. And I thought to myself, I don't have to be terribly picky about how nice the tail ends look, because I'll just pull them all to the back and I'll push them under the other, or I'll stitch over them in the whole thing. Can I just tell you that like maybe 2 hours into that process is when I realized that this was completely the wrong way to go about it. I should have just picked out everything I had done, left to right, and kind of started again. It would have been quicker. It would have been cleaner. You guys, I don't even want to, I'm not even sure. Honestly, I did a pretty good job on the back. Like you can see where it gets kind of dense in here because there's some tails that needed dealing with. But Yeah, that took me a long time to undo, not just undo my stitching, but undo my undoing so that I could redo with some sort of, it's right now. It's correct. I can key things off of it and not have to remember. Here's a note. I'm working on this in Pattern Keeper. And I'm going to send this to Pattern Keeper, but if you know the Pattern Keeper people, pass this on. I would like the ability to put notes on my pattern. Like, I want to be able to highlight a stitch or like a whole area of stitches and have a little something that says, hey, there's a note attached. And when you click on it, it pops up a little note that says, hey, a lot of this is in the wrong position. Don't key on it. Come at it from another angle and fudge it when you get there. That kind of thing. I think I need that. I'm not the only one who needs that. I have to, please, I won't sleep tonight. I'm not the only one that needs that, right? Okay. My goal this week is not to work on Templar Prophecy. Not because I don't want to work on it, but because I have many other things to work on. And I tend to favor this because it is nice and snug in a Q-snap. It's easy for me to carry around. It's easy for me to hold while I'm working on it. I need to put some time into Death by Cross Stitch. And it's a big mother. It's a big mama. And I have to just, sequester myself up here and work on it on the big stand. Get some stuff done on it. It's not going to finish itself. Andrea, I know the rest of you know this. I have to tell me, it's not going to finish itself. Maybe that'll go in my Etsy store next. It's not going to stitch itself. Copyright. I apologize. My hair is in that weird, damp, I honestly, to God, washed it. I just did, I wet it. So it's in that weird, I don't want to do anything phase, but Andrea's got stuff to do. So yeah, I'm glossy. The next thing I worked on, I'm just going to breeze by. This is still the dang shop model. It's this thing. I am still, you can see how bored I'm getting, where I'm just like outlining stuff now and being like, guys, if I am this bored with this pattern, why am I going to inflict it on any of you? I don't know. I might not. But at least you know that I suffered through this pattern. I suffer with you. I cannot take your pain away. I can only suffer with you. If I just stitched the small one, we'd all be fine. The next thing I worked on actually resulted in a finish. This is the Winter Cardinal etching. This is from Heart in Hand Needle Arts. Wow, I'm doubting myself there, but I think I'm right. If you remember last week, I had a chubby little cardinal, and now he's all done. This was a super fast stitch. In fact, it would have been faster, but I ran out of sticks and twigs. I got so used to stitching 1/1 that when I do 2/2, I kind of forget that it uses up floss a little faster. So I spent some time waiting for that to come in. I was very lucky. My sister, who is much more quilting than cross stitch now, although she is working on, I want to say a Clouds Factory, Beetles, something or other. If I can, I will. But she places a lot of orders with Fat Quarter Shop, so I usually just drop her a text. I'm like, do you have an order going to FQS soon? If so, can you add? And I think that sometimes gives her the little nudge she needs to say, well, certainly could place an order. So I piggyback onto hers and she pays the shipping, and that doesn't seem right. Okay, don't tell her. If she's not going to find my video channel, right. So I tagged on and got 4 skeins of sticks and twigs. so that I could do this one. The next one, I believe, is the summer. No, there should be a spring bunny and then the summer fish. I believe both of those patterns use sticks and twigs. So I've got plenty for the whole group. What I'm going to do with them when I'm done, I don't know. We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about that around here. We should definitely talk about that around here. But we don't. Anyway, I finished this last night, and the only thing I have forgotten to do is put my initials on it. Oh, and post it to Instagram, because that's what I was going to do when I did things. But I love this pattern. I love those trees. I want to design a pattern that has trees like that, but then I just feel like I'm just stealing somebody's trees. And I don't want to do that. But I love those trees, and I want to find a way to incorporate something like that into something I design, because I really am in love with it. And I am so in love with the Cardinal. He's so cute. Cherry Cobbler. It's the only raid you'll ever need. The last bit of stitching that I did is actually a new start. This is Be Kind. It is from the summer 2021, I think. It was on the graphic thingy. Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And this is from Teresa Miller. Look how much I've done. Look how much I've done, and look how big it is. Look at me. I mean, it's 1/1 on 18 count. It's not like... I thought of this as a small, but it's actually pretty, you know... It's got stuff going on. Look at the V-scap. Look at it. Love it. This was entirely... one or the other. It was either entirely in Classic Colorworks or Weeks Dye Works. I want to say it was charted for Weeks Dye Works, and I used the ones I had. What I didn't have, I subbed in Classic Colorworks. And I'm really happy with the way they're coming out. I'm noticing not a ton of variegation in a lot of what's here, but you know, the biggest one you can see is the stem and the leaves here. That is Classic Colorworks Camo, and that I think has like great variegation. I don't need variegation to be like almost every stitch a different color. I kind of don't really ever want that, but I like to be able to see that kind of progression. Or, you know, when you fill in a large area, to be able to see, you know, a gradient kind of effect. So, you know, looking at the B-skep, close up you can kind of tell that darker color, which is Weeks Dye Works Flatfish, you can tell there's some variegation there, but it's not very pronounced. But it still looks really good, so I'm happy with it. So that's all the stitching that I have. I have a little haul. I got my Classic Colorworks nest egg from 3 Owl Threads. Love being in this floss of the month. I highly recommend it. I think you can only get there via Trisha's or 3 Owl Threads Facebook page. Honestly, I don't even remember how I got there. I think I almost got to a form that she didn't use anymore or something, but she just took pity on me and was like, I got you. Don't worry about it. So this month's haul is Peanut Brittle, Pansy Purple, thinking of you, Kara, Organza Pink, which I'm going to say is a hard no for me. No. Onion Skin, Peach Sherbet, which kind of in the phone looks kind of true to life, which is a lot more lemony than I would think peach, but it's still pretty. Perfect Pie Crust, which if you watch Priscilla and Chelsea, Perfect Pie Crust, they use that all the time. So happy to be able to try that for something. Pickled Beets, which I really like. I don't know if I can get... Yeah, we've been through this, that, you know, you're never going to see what I see, but that shows a pretty good variegation. So I will enjoy that. Pebble Beach, pretty neutral. Olive Branch, which does not make me think of olives nor branches, but still a nice color. And Aura's Iris, which is another really great variegated purple. Very grapey. It reminds me of... If I can find what it really is, I'll put it over here. It was gum, you know, when I was a child last week. And it, like, if you got grape, it had like dark around the outside and then it was lighter in the middle, and it was not gushers. It was not a gusher kind of deal. It was gum. I just remember the grape being really good. And as a child, I would like eat the dark off the outside and then eat the middle. I was not always the most normal of children. Shocking, I know. But yes, I did that to gum. Whatever, that reminds me of that. The strawberry was pretty good too. And the last little bit of haul I have is I bought myself some new tension hoops because for some reason, somewhere in the house, I know I have bought this size of a hoop 3-4 times. I can only find one. I know where all my current projects are, and only one of them is using a hoop. So where are the rest of my hoops? No, seriously, I'm asking you. Somebody's got to know. Where's my hoops? And because I'm extra, I had to get the 3 set because, of course I did. So that is about it for the stitching information for this week. The only other haul I really had in my Amazon order, I bought my father. I've become a little obsessed with accessibility aids and things that could kind of make his day a little easier and something that could make him spend less time on the tasks of taking care of himself so that he could spend more time doing something that maybe actually interests him, like visiting with people, or things that make him feel a little more just confident and more willing to have people to the house and things like that. So one thing he had asked for the other week is, he said he spends a lot of time in his recliner in front of the television, unfortunately. That's a big part of his day. And so he said, you know, sometimes he gets himself up out of bed and he goes and makes oatmeal and it just really exhausts him. So he gets into the chair and he doesn't want to get up again. Not for a significant amount of time. So he said, do you think I could keep a basin next to my chair so that I could brush my teeth here? And then just empty the basin when, you know, either his home health aide is there or something like that. And my first thought was, ugh. I have a very delicate constitution when it comes to some things. Someday, if I feel like it, I can handle it, I will tell you my reactions to mayonnaise. So the idea of him having a bucket of nasty spit water next to him was not something I could emotionally deal with. So I went online and I was looking for almost something like maybe you would use if you were camping, which maybe the toothbrush, you could just wet it and it would have toothpaste in it and you could just, but you could swallow it rather than having to spit, that kind of thing. Didn't really find anything like that, but I found these little like cloths like that you put on your finger and it has some minty something or other going on. And you literally kind of wipe your teeth. And I think they're mostly meant for, like, after a meal. You could go into, you know, a bathroom or something. Or if you didn't have access to a bathroom, you could go somewhere and just wipe your teeth down and then throw away the little doo-ha. So I got him a package of those, thinking maybe that would help him. It would clean him up enough until he has his home health aide or somebody like that there with him to help him get... Like, his problem right now is he's unsteady. So if he holds the toothbrush and lets go of the counter to try to put the toothpaste on, something unpleasant could happen. And unfortunately, his bathroom is not big enough for us to put, say, like a stool or something for him to sit on next to the sink while he does that. And he just doesn't have the space for that. So this, I'm hoping, is somewhat of a compromise. Heck, they look kind of interesting. I might throw some in my pocketbook just to have for, if I'm out and having eaten, because we could all stand to take better care of our teeth. I haven't been to the dentist since COVID. So 18 months. And I was like, when it started, I was due for a cleaning. So that's how many reminders I've probably gotten from my dentist office saying, just because there's COVID doesn't mean you don't have to take care of your teeth. And I'm like, yes, thank you, Dr. Allen. Thank you. He's so dreamy. He really is. He's dreamy. But yeah, not dreamy enough to get me into the chair right now. So maybe these will help both Dad and I. But if you have some experience working with the elderly like that, or with anybody really who needs, accessibility aids and things like that, if there is some sort of toothbrushing, like I was describing, where you could actually brush your teeth, but you don't have to worry about the spitting, let me know in the comments, because I'm pretty much willing to try anything. And so is he. I mean, he loves a gadget or a gizmo. So when I come to his house with a little Amazon package and say, I got you something, he likes to try things too. Otherwise, he's doing okay. He's not where I would like to see him. We are taking advantage of as many hours as we can get from different services. We had him reevaluated. They sent out a nurse, and he now has 7 hours a week instead of just 3 or 4 from elder services. So we're going to try to use that to get somebody, maybe 7 days a week, somebody will come in and get him going in the morning, get his oatmeal made, put the toothpaste on his toothbrush, that kind of thing. So that would be a big help, because usually once he's up and he gets in his chair, he's capable of getting himself to the bathroom if he needs to, getting up and making a cup of coffee if he wants to, that kind of thing. As long as they're just short little jaunts, he can do that throughout the day. And then usually what happens is either my sister or I come over in the evening and we kind of get him ready for the night. Put his dinner together, make it for him if he wants us to. I get everything set up in his bedroom because, he may go into bed at 8 o'clock at night, but he lays there and watches TV sometimes till midnight. So, I put snacks in there. I make sure he has a fresh bottle of water. I just make sure everything is cleaned up. His oxygen is up and running, because he has a habit of getting in the bed, getting all comfortable, and then realizing that the condenser is not on. So he has to get up again, or he doesn't get up again, and that kind of thing. So that's what we're doing right now. And then, on the weekends, we're in and out, different days, different times, that kind of thing. But, he doesn't want us working for him. And so that's tough, is when you say to him, well, do you need me to come and get your dinner ready tonight? And he'll say, no. If you don't come, I'll just have one of those I'll have some granola bars or something. It's like, no, that's not the answer, sir. That's not how that works. You're going to have dinner one way or another. Either you're going to make yourself dinner, or I'm going to come over there and I'm going to we're talking about microwave meals. This isn't like anybody's going over there and making him a pot roast. I would like to be able to get into the habit of maybe on Sundays going over and doing some meal prep for him, but if I can't meal prep for me, I'm not going to be able to meal prep for him. So we'll have to figure that out. But otherwise, he's hanging in. We've also got he has this big, beautiful, like, queen-size bed with this beautiful, thick pillow top mattress, and the poor man cannot get in and out of that bed. He is like a little kid with his legs dangling over the side. He's not very tall. He's only about 5'10". So you know, he's a little old man. So what we've done is we've put him in for a hospital type bed with, that goes up and down and the whole thing, and it can make him comfortable. He can watch TV in bed without straining his neck. So we have that coming, but we don't know when. And originally what we had wanted to do was put it in the living room where he's currently sitting like in his, recliner. So that all he has to do is get up out of the bed, which is going to be a lot easier for him to get out of because it's adjustable, and make his way to his chair. So it's less distance than him trying to get from the bedroom, which is really just the next room, but into the living room and settled in for the day. Now he's decided he may want to get rid of his big bed and put the hospital bed in there. So we have to figure out how to do that. One way or another, it all gets figured out. It all gets done. He has a family room down one end of the house. It's like the family room and dining room. It's pretty much, it's never used anymore. So if we've got to store things, we got a big space for that. It's not, nothing's impossible, but it's tough when the people trying to do the work also both have full-time jobs. And by full-time, we don't mean like 8 hours. It's 10 or 12 hours a day. And it's work that we need to be engaged in. So, it's just a matter of finding all the hours in the day and not making him feel like, that we're somehow struggling to do this or that this is an imposition. This isn't an imposition. He's our father. This is what you do. This is what he did for his parents. This is what we do for him. So needless to say, that's all been a little stressy. And stress is never good for somebody's depression or anxiety. So I am still like, unfortunately, my therapist is on vacation. Actually, I believe what she is during one of my sessions, she was going to be at a seminar, and I believe the next one falls on a Jewish holiday. So she is away. It would be nice to have her to chat with, and I know there are other options and things like that, but I'm kind of, I used to be the type that would write down all the things that I wanted to talk about, and I've kind of lost that habit with just having so much going on. So I'm the type of person that now when I do get to talk to her again, which will be, I think, not this coming week, but the week after. In a way, I will have forgotten a lot of the things that bothered me or hurt me or, things that I dwell on too much. I will have forgotten all of them. So sometimes it turns into, I'm only ever talking about the few days prior to me talking to her because that's what I remember. And even when I write things down, I look back at them and I'm like, that sounds really petty. That sounds really silly. That's, hindsight is 20/20. It's not. If hindsight were 20/20, we would see things very clearly. Hindsight is very nearsighted. Because the further things get back, the further you're able to convince yourself, well, it didn't kill me. That conversation didn't kill me. That unbelievably stressful situation didn't kill me. I got through it. Now I barely remember the details. So how bad could it have been? Which is exactly the wrong way to look at something. Because when something hurts you, it hurts you. And it doesn't, some pain fades with age. And some pain just digs in and becomes chronic. I don't know how much sense that makes. I'm just talking here. But either way, me, my face, my stitching, we're all still here. So I think this is where I am going to leave you this week. I don't have to apologize. I choose to apologize. I have not gotten through the comments from last week's video. And by not gotten through, like, I see them when they come up and I read them, but I always try to at least put a heart on them before my next video, and I did not do that this time. So it's been 2 weeks and I am just, I'm not handling the comments well. I'm just not. And it's not the comments. The comments are always wonderful and supportive and pleasant to read. They are, they're positive things. I just, sometimes the button is too difficult to push. And that's the only way I can describe it right now. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even your dislikes. And thank you for your comments. Even if I am not good at expressing it and showing it, I appreciate and read every single one of them. Thank you for being my community. I appreciate you. Bye, guys.